Hello everyone, Sheila back again. It is now 20 to 4. I've just come in, I've been over to my post office posting the what orders and what knitting patterns I had to do, and get myself one or two things while I was over there, like milk and biscuits, because I haven't any milk there. No biscuits. I like one or two biscuits with my cups of tea and coffee in. So I'm busy knitting a bit of this little, the pink and white. It's like a deep pink, like a brighter, shocking pink, I think you used to call it. So I'm doing the two colours, the thing. I'm starting to knit some of my earlier patterns from my patterns, just in case there's anything that I think might need changing on those patterns, because I didn't start getting my patterns tested about maybe about the last half dozen patterns. I do have 20 patterns altogether, but I've been going through my book because I have lots of patterns. Some of them I just need to write the PDF out. I just don't have the time to sit and work them all out, but some I need to go through them all and see if there's any patterns that I can actually do PDFs and make them into patterns, because I have one or two things, you know, where I've done maybe children's ones where I'm probably only going to do up to a 20-inch anyway, and that's probably all I've done on the that's written down in my book. So I need to sort a lot of them out and start getting some of those patterns sorted out. And of course I was doing my books this morning as well. I do my monthly, every month I write down all my incoming and outgoing, you know, my expenses and everything. I write all those down. I haven't done it since about the middle of October, so I had October's to sort out. This is for when I fill in my tax returns and that every April, you know, what people that self-employed like me do. But I do keep a record every month and all my slips from the post office and everything. And I was just piling them up inside that book because I've had an awful lot of things that's been sold and gone out that I haven't wrote in. So I had to work out half of October, all of November, and just a couple of this month because it's only the 2nd of thing. But I also have to write all things down, you know, because you're allowed to claim certain amount if your rent, if you work from home, your council tax and gas and electric and things like that, if you're working like I do from home all the time. So it's took me all morning really to do just my books, and I'm working it out, and I already owe the tax man. I'm working out, because you know, anyone who's working, you're only allowed £12,570, I think it is, a year. And with me, I do get a pension, so that has to come out of that before everything else that I do. And I've used up that allowance before October. So I'm going to be owing the taxman quite a bit this next April when it comes around. So I thought I'd better get it sorted out, so I can work out more or less how much tax I think I might have to pay each month. And then I put that money away into a separate account to keep it separate, so it doesn't get spent, and it's there to pay when I have to pay it, like I did last year. I had to pay it last year, but last year, well, not last year, this year, but for the 24-25 year was the first year I've ever had to pay any tax. But it's getting worse. But anyway, I've sorted that out, and then I started looking through the book, like I'm saying, for any patterns that I might be doing. But I have one or two. I'm going to try and sort them out, because I'm not doing so much orders and things. I'm just more or less doing what I want to do, just to try to use up the wool, instead of someone asking me for something and then I may not have that colour, whatever they want, and I've got to go and buy the wool when I've got a wall of wool sitting in front of me here. So I'm just going to be doing things like that at the moment. And like I'm saying, I'm doing this little cardigan, This is just a little 16-inch one. I'm going to start building up a few of each sizes, but I'm going to go through my patterns from the first one, all my patterns I can, and do build up a few 16 inches, a few 18 inches and 20 inches and things like that. Just do some little ones that don't take very long. But I have been doing another one. I started this one the other day. I did some last year, it was just last year, I think it was last winter. This is a scarf. I'm doing it in a circle, you know, working around in a circle, and I think I did one set last year with the little scarf with the pom-poms on each end of the scarf. You know, you pull the end in like that and put a pom-pom on each end, and there was a pom-pom hat to go with it. And I did sell that last year, and I thought I'll do some more. This is Aaron, what I'm using. I think it was the same colour I did last year, actually. I can't show you on my phone because I haven't got a stand for my tablet yet. And I've got my tablet in front of my computer, and I've got the screen up on my computer, and I've got the tablet in front of the screen. But it keeps flopping over. So I've had to put something, because of how I've got it pulled forward, the screen on my laptop pulled forward a little bit, so you get more of me in. Otherwise, my head would be down the bottom of the screen somewhere. So I've had to put my phone, I've had to find something sort of heavy to put in front of the tablet to stop it flopping over. And that's the only thing I could think of was my phone. It's heavy enough to keep the tablet up, to keep it back. But I'm going to have to get a proper stand for the tablet. I have been looking, but I want a stand where the tablet stands straight up and down. But all the ones I've seen, they lean backwards on the stand. I want it to stand up and down, because when they lean backwards, you can't get a good picture in like what I'm doing now. But anyway, enough of that. That's so I'm going to be doing a little bit of this one as well. It doesn't take very long because I think I've got about 44 stitches. I think I've only got 44 stitches on here. I'm just keep working, going round and round on it, and it doesn't take very long. So that's what I'm going to be doing, some of those. I may do a few. I think I have quite a bit of Aran. I have some white. I'm looking up at my wool on the wall in front of me. And I have some white and Aran. I have some navy. I have some turquoise. And I've got like a beige colour. And then I've got a deeper, like a sandy colour. And I have like a petrol blue. I'm just looking at the colours I can see, because I keep all the Aran on the top shelf so I can see them on the top there. And I have like a kind of green there as well. So that's what I'm probably doing the Aran, because I don't need as many stitches on for the Aran to do this. And this will make it nice and warm around the neck. And I've been wearing my little one, my little mini Sophie scarf. And you know, it's lovely and warm. It keeps my neck. I just wear it around the house all day. I love this little scarf. I've never had it off since. I'm going to have to make myself another one, so I've got one to change with it. I'll be putting it on for my bingo on Thursday, showing all the girls. I showed them the girls on Monday at my knitting natter, and one or two were asking me how, you know, how it was made. So I was telling them there's loads of tutorials on YouTube, but most of them don't even know how to get onto YouTube. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a little bit of this little one. I'm looking up little bits. I have a bag full of maybe half balls of colours that's been left over from things, and I thought that would be handy for doing these, because I've got plenty white. I can add white and use the half colour, so I have pink and blues and greens and all colours that for doing these sort of things, like mixing the two colours. And I may work out some more little slip stitch patterns, see if I can work out. I have one pattern with slip stitch on, and see if I can work out another one, a different pattern on it. But there was also a hat which I have been hunting through my patterns for. I had a PDF. I'm going to have to look through my PDFs, but there was a particular hat that I wanted to do for myself, and I swore I printed that pattern out, and I've been looking through all, I've got piles and piles of patterns downstairs in folders and things. I've been looking through them trying to find this hat. But I'm going to have to look through my PDFs on my computer, and I'll probably still have the PDF and print it out again because I just can't find it. But I have so many patterns, I could have missed it when I was looking through. Because it's very hard, you know, when you're trying to go through them and you're going through them quickly and you tend to pick maybe two up or what at a time, especially if they're paper ones that you've printed out yourself. So I'm doing this, I'm onto a decreasing row. So I'll do that and then I can sit and knit across it while I'm sitting talking. That's it. So I'll just knit across the rest of the row. But I have sold another set of yarn balls on my eBay shop. So I made another one straight away and put another one up straight away, and I only have so much of this wool here. This is what I've been using for the ones I've been selling. I think I have one more full ball of this mixie wool. I'm using 2 strands of this one with 1 strand of white chunky. And I think I have one full ball here. So I've probably got enough here to do another set. And the full ball that I have left over on my, it's amongst the wool on my wool wall. I'll probably be able to get another set of 2 out. So anyway, there's one on eBay, and as soon as that one's sold, I will do another one. That's what I've been doing, because they don't take very long. It take me probably a couple of hours to make a couple of bowls, because I'm using an 8mm hook. It's quite a large hook, so they don't take very long just to do the 2. But I do them in 3s as well. I charge £10 for the 2. But I charge £18 if anyone wants them in a set of 3, but they would have to tell me. But I do prefer to sell them on eBay, because the postage is a lot less on eBay than if I post them myself. So I will only do 2 of them in sets of 2 unless anyone asks me for a set of 3. I'll put that back down there, because if that other one on my eBay shop goes, I'll be picking that up and doing another one. That's the way I'm working. That's the way I've wanted to do things for a long time. Just do what I want to do when I have the time, do what I want to do. But I've had, ever since I first started on YouTube and people started to realise they could get me to knit things for them, which is, I've been on YouTube doing this since 2021. And I've just never had time to just sit down and do what I want to do. I want to do some more blankets and things, for baby blankets and lap blankets and things. That'll use up a lot of the chunky and the thicker wool that I have, and some of that chenille type stuff. I have a lot of that. I have a few more pom-pom lots that I want to use up for one thing or another as well. So that's what I'm hoping, that I don't get loads of orders and I can do these things that I want. So that's just a little bit, keep you up to date with what I've been doing today. And I'm trying to think of different things I can do on my newest channel, my crochet channel. It seems to be taking me quite a while to get the 1,000 subscribers. I think I have. I can't look on my phone. Can't look on my tablet because I'm using the tablet. I can't look on my phone because my phone's keeping the tablet up. But I think I'm going to have to. But I'm seeing my crochet channel. I think I have about 840 subscribers. And it's getting near about 2,000 watch hours, where you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I don't have a lot of time to do things on that channel, actually. But I'm trying to think of different things that I can do. And then I just thought the other day, I have 2 hot water bottles I put in my bed in the night time. I have one of those smaller ones, you know, the little thingy ones like that. I put that at the bottom of the bed to put my feet on, and then I have one of those long ones, long thin ones, and I sort of hug that when I'm in bed. It's lovely and warm. I've no trouble getting to sleep of a night time since I put those hot water bottles in my bed. But the one I put my feet on, the long thin one has one of those furry covers on it, but the other one, the smaller one I put my feet on, it's just a thin, like a thin wool stuff I think I knitted years ago, and I just put on that hot water bottle. I may crochet a cover for my hot water bottle, a new cover, and maybe it's a little bit thicker, because sometimes I've noticed the water's a little bit hot and I put my feet on, I can't keep it on very long, it's too hot. I can feel the heat too much through the one that's on. So I'm going to use some chunky and make a hot water bottle cover. So I would probably do a tutorial on that. That'll be something to put on my crochet channel. But I keep trying to think of different things I can put up on that channel. But I'm not one that does these little toy things, you know, the amigurumi and those sort of things. Like they were doing on the Game of Wool on Sunday night. I don't know how many watched that, but I did. I watched it. I watched it an hour later. I watched it on the catch-up thing, and that's what was the first part, what they all had to do. They had to make a meal out of, with this amigurumi type crochet. It was all crochet, and some of the things they were making, and I felt really sorry for the three gentlemen. There was one of them, I don't know if he was Norwegian or Swedish or something like that. I forgot his name. And there's a young, what I call a young kid, and another gentleman in the middle of those two. I can't remember the names, but he was robbed of the little badge they get, because the meal he did was like bacon, sausage, egg and mushrooms and all things, and his was really good, but he didn't win it. The other fella, the Norwegian, I think, is it Jolger or something name, he had a funny name like that, something like that. He did something with like spaghetti and something like that, and this other man was robbed of that little badge. But it's called the Game of Wool, but it's supposed to be finding the best knitter, and what's crochet got to do with knitting? It's entirely different. But anyway, they did actually made a garment for the second half. They had to make these cardigans and had to design the cardigans, and I felt sorry for this young lad. He was picked with one of the ladies, and they decided to do this stitch, what I'm doing. They called it bubble stitch, I call it blackberry stitch. I don't care what they call it, I call it blackberry stitch. And the young fella knew how to do it, but the lady didn't. She had no idea, and she ruined their chances. I find fault with everything on that show. And with this one here, when you're making the bubble, you drop, most people will know, but some that don't, you drop a stitch down 4 rows. So you have those 4 lines of stitches, that would be stitches. You pick that stitch up on the 5th row, put the needle underneath those 4 lines that you've dropped of the stitches, and you knit all them together. Well, that lady must have just been dropping the stitch down and picking those 4 lines up, but not the stitch I had dropped down. And these loose stitches were sticking out all over the sleeve. She was doing the sleeve in one part of the cardigan, and the young lad was doing the other, and his was perfect on the other side, but she hadn't a clue how to do it. So I don't know whether she bothered asking, you know, the young fella who was doing his part. And then one of them, There was other young girl and the foreign gent, just the foreign gent. I don't know if he's Norwegian or Swedish or something like that. But him and this other lady were doing another cardigan, and there was a good design what they picked. And when he come to stitch it, they were stitching the two pieces together. They were each doing a sleeve and working the back and the front all in one, and then going to stitch all the pieces together. And he stitched it on the wrong way. Had the wrong side on the outside when it should have been on the inside. No, but they were actually making cardigans, was a change for all of the rubbish they have been making. But like I said, I think that fella was robbed of the little badge. He should have had it. His was the best. That's my opinion. But enough of that. If you haven't watched it, I've given all a lot of things away. You're going to have to watch it yourself. But you know, I just paid my TV licence. I had up until the 30th of November to pay it. And I waited till the very last day. And I thought to myself afterwards, I don't know why I'm paying this. That Game of Wool is the only live television I've watched all year. And I've just had to pay a television licence. But because you have a television and an aerial that plugs into it, they think you watch it, don't they? But my television's never been on. I watch it on my computer anyway. But the television, I have the apps on my computer, and I just click on whatever I want to watch on the computer. It is live, the same as live TV, but that's the only live thing I've ever watched. I think all this year was that Game of Wool. I watch all the other channels, you know, that's not live TV and all that, and other movies I have in my computer, the ones you can stream down in TV and that, and I never watch BBC, ITV or any of those channels that's live. But I had to pay my television licence. I begrudged paying £174 something, I think it was. Oh yes, I've got my paper down here. That'll tell me how much it was. £174.50 for a lot of rubbish. Anyway, that's my little bit for today. So, thumbs up and subscribe. I'll catch you all another time. So, bye for now.